Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I've done a Facebook Live. I took a few weeks off just to spend time with my family. Our son is getting ready to deploy to Europe, and so we just took time with him, his wife, the grandsons, and really enjoyed it. So now that we're a little bit more than halfway through September, we did a lot of really cool stuff with our leadership at lunch times, leadership at wine time, and touched a lot of people. A lot of people realize that leaders actually go through maturity changes in life, and the higher that you move on the maturity level as far as leader, the better leader that you become. And I think it was a real surprise to a lot of people that was the case. And when we went through the leadership maturity framework, a lot of people were able to recognize what level of leadership maturity that they were on, and then also recognize that with that level of leadership came certain challenges to being an effective leader. And it also allowed them to identify themselves where they're at and where they need to go so that they can mature beyond, their current level. And that's the goal. The one of the biggest parts of the leadership development programs that I teach it's just not a mentorship, but it's a learning process where you as a person mature. And as you mature, you go up the scale on the leadership maturity level and just simply become a better leader. And to give you an idea what some of those levels are, the lower levels are all self-centered. There's a level called the diplomat. And the bottom line is when you talk about and think about the diplomat level, what it means is that you as a person are trying to find your identity in others and being a part of a group. If you kind of think about it, like, for instance, there was a time where people identified with, let's say, maybe a brand. When I was, years ago in college and whatnot, it was Gucci, and then Louis Vuitton came along, and then maybe you wanted to be part of the Kim Kardashian type crowd, and you found your identity in others. When you're in high school and college, it was like what fraternity or sorority you were in. Were you a jock? Were you a geek? Were you a freak? Were you a burnout? On and on. The bottom line is that you find your identity in others or being a part of a group. The problem with that is that as a leader, that's how you make your decisions. You make your decisions based on not what's best for you or the company or the people that work for you, but you make your decisions based on are highly influenced by whether or not your peers are going to approve of you and what other people are going to think of you. Unfortunately, that is where many leaders lie or sit today. And the next level up, if you remember from that, was actually become an expert at what you do. And, being an expert is where approximately 46% of all managers in America lead from. And that simply doesn't mean that they've become a good leader. It means that they just were an expert at what they do. And therefore, recognizing that, and it's something we value here in America, is being smart, knowledgeable about the particular subject that you are, leading in or working in. And if we look at our European neighbors are actually more evolved than we are in regard to leadership maturity levels. Their maturity level is the next level up, which is called an achiever level. And the majority of their managers and leaders are at this leadership level of achiever. An achiever is the first level of leadership maturity that's actually outward focused, where you actually focus on the people that you're leading, and you have more of an employee focused type leadership style. This is where companies begin to empower their leaders. They begin to trust or empower their employees. They begin to trust their employees more. And in Europe and some parts of Asia, especially like with the Toyota Way, TQM, lean manufacturing, I mean, that goes back decades. That's how much further along they are in empowering employees than many American corporations. Again, that achiever level builds teams, and Blake and Mouton, have proven that teams and building high-performing teams make the best leaders and best companies. When you are developing high-performing teams, those high-performing teams have the ability to sustain growth and keep growth going even during difficult times. And it's also interesting to note that when you talk about group dynamics and decision making, when you make a decision by consensus or by team agreement, those decisions tend to be the highest quality decisions that you can make in regard to your company and even your personal life. So that's something really to take note of, that this leadership framework in regard to maturity, and the first level of really starting to become a mature leader is being able to build high-performing teams. And that correlates with all of the data and information we have in regards to behavioral leadership science, that when people make decisions by consensus or by team agreement, that is the highest quality and most effective type of decision that a person or a leader can make. So that's just the first level. It's called Achiever. And take a look, think about yourself. Are you still, as a leader and just as a person, hung up on finding your identity and your self-worth in what other people think about you? Do you have to drive that certain car? Do you have to live in that certain neighborhood? Do you have to be a part of a certain group? Do you have to golf at a certain golf club, etc., etc.? Do you have to look a certain way? Do you have to be a certain level of fitness? Whatever that might be. If you're still in that stage, that stage is a stage that is high school and college level maturity. And that's something that we need to really look at, especially here in America, because, quote, being popular and accepted is one of the things that this nation seems to worship beyond all else. That is a sign of severe lower level maturity in our population. And it's not just millennials, Gen Z, and kids. That is Gen X, boomers, and traditionalists are extremely, I can't use the word guilty, but extremely common, or it's prolific among them, to be at the level of a diplomat and not even making it to the expert level. So just take some time to think about where you're at, and if you need help, you see where you're at and you need help and want to grow and mature beyond where you're at, give me a shout. That's what I do. So at any rate, I appreciate everybody out there. You can catch me online at on Twitter at gbushman1, Facebook it's Strategic Leadership Development, and you can hit my website www.greg.bushman buschman.com and pick up my book. It's a great book. It's a great read. It'll help understand the difference between the generations and how to lead each generation, and especially if you're a millennial or a Gen Z. The book's got all kinds of information that'll help you understand us. So take care. Bye.